I will tell you my story from the beginning. I am Huria. I am 60 years old. I do not work. I have not completed my studies. My share of beauty is very little. No one proposed to me until I was over 30. And suddenly, a young man proposed to me, and the mediator, the matchmaker, told me that he was a 33-year-old man who had never been married, works with his father in his own company. And I brought a picture of him. He looked so handsome. I asked myself, then why give to someone who has nothing? And here I learned by surprise that he had lost his sight in an accident 5 years ago, and he had performed many operations, but to no avail. Indeed, we sat down. How wonderful, light shade, captivating the heart in a few seconds. We got engaged and got married in 2 months. In fact, at first I was very afraid of several things. The first of which was what he told me about himself before he was injured in the accident, how he was always staying up late, adoring beautiful women, and not liking responsibility. With him, but he surprised me that he does everything on his own, and even helps me. He changed completely, and his insight became very high. And we had our 4 children. He was very affectionate. He never once made me feel his helplessness. He performed all his duties as a husband and father without lethargy. I loved him madly. I was terrified of the idea of seeing him return to his former life, because I am not beautiful. He struggled for years to transplant a cornea, and every time the operation failed, yet he did not give up, for God has wisdom in postponing. And 10 years passed like a dream, and suddenly the operation was prepared, and it succeeded that time. And the doctor told me that he began to see. I dared to approach. He kept kissing the little ones, then his mother and father, and then he started wandering his eyes around the room looking for me, and when he saw me he said, "My beautiful bride finally saw you." Tears flowed from my eyes. He said, "Come closer. I want to see you." Well, my feet did not carry me. I walk with difficulty. And when I approached, he laughed and said much more beautiful than what I imagined, and kissed my hands in front of everyone. My demon kept eating my head. Perhaps he did that so as not to hurt me in front of them, and his treatment will gradually change. But that did not happen, as his love and affection for me increased, and for me too, despite the presence of beautiful women around him at work and family, except that he never saw one of them. My parents died in an accident, and I fell into grief. So he took the place of my father and mother in the blink of an eye, and he considered me his daughter that he did not have. And years passed, and he did not change an inch, and I realized in her the wisdom of God in what he lost. Had he not lost his sight, I would not have. He would have seen me from the inside, and my grandmother was really right when she said, "Perhaps the blind person has a life filled with aromas,